me. Many years ago, Sarojini Naidu, a great leader of our country, had said, Odisha may be a small state, but its heart is very large. And that is true. 2000 years ago, a great war was fought here, and the people of Odisha fought with great bravery, sacrificed their lives, but were defeated. The impact of defeat was such that it transformed the heart of the victor. I am speaking of the Emperor Ashoka. He achieved victory in the war, but he confessed that such victory was of no use. If one has to win something, it is the heart of the people. Victory is not achieved by killing people. India has never invaded any other countries. Invaders came from outside and many of them settled here and became good Indians. And afterwards, whenever India was under attack, these people stood united to face up the challenge. We have many great achievements to our credit. Like other countries, we have also achieved much. But in recent years, we have lagged behind. And this can be only possible if the younger generation takes up the challenge. For this, they have to imbibe the national spirit. They have to think for the nation's future. Not for the present, but for the coming generation also. There are many big trees around. They took hundreds of years for their growth. Did the people at that time ever think that what was the benefit of planting these trees when their shade will be not available to them? No, they didn't thought that way. If they thought such way, then these beautiful trees would not be visible in India. They planted them because they knew that India has to live for hundreds of years. My father used to say that none can divide independence into pieces. Likewise, no one can shatter our progress or divide our development into pieces. We have to think for ourselves, and this is not my responsibility alone. Today I am here, I may not be here tomorrow. This is the responsibility of every citizen of the country. I have said earlier also that a number of times attempts were made to kill me. I'm not worried whether I live or die. I have lived a long life. And if I'm proud of anything, it is that I have devoted all my life to the service of the people. Of this I'm proud. I'm not of anything else. And even when I die, it will be for the service of the people. I can proudly say this, that each drop of my blood will make India strong and keep India alive. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you, Harshita. A very good afternoon and Jai Hind to one and all present in this arena. Today, our issue of class 9K, I'm here to deliver a speech given by the leader of African National Congress, Nelson Mandela, on his release from prison on 11th February 1990. The speech goes like this. Friends, comrades, and fellow South Africans, I greet you all in the name of peace, freedom, and democracy for all. I stand before you, not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. Your tireless and heroic sacrifices have made it possible for me to be here today. I therefore place the remaining years of my life in your hands. I send special greetings to the people of Cape Town, the city which has been my home for three years. Your mass marches and other forms of struggle have served as a constant source of strength for all political prisoners. I pay tribute to many religious communities who have carried out the campaign for justice forward when the organization for our people was silenced. I pay tribute to the endless heroism of the the young lands. You have energized our entire struggle. I salute the African National Congress. It has fulfilled our every expectation as its role as a leader of the Great March to Freedom. I salute our President, Comrade Oliver Tambo, for leading the ANC even under most difficult circumstances. My salutations would be incomplete without expressing my deep appreciation for the strength given to me during my long and lonely life in prison by my beloved wife and family. I'm convinced that your pain and struggle was far greater than my own. In my conclusion, I wish to quote my own words during my trial in 1964. They are as today as they were then. I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished an ideal for a democratic free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal for which I hope to live and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. Thank you and Jai Hind.
morning to all of you present over here. I, Deepthi Agarwal of class 9B, am here to deliver a speech given by First Lady Prime Minister of India, late Srimati Indira Gandhi, on 23rd November 1974 at the Golden Jubilee celebration of Indraprastha College, New Delhi. An ancient Sanskrit saying says, "Woman is the home and home is the basis of society." It is as we build our home that we can build our country. If the home is inadequate in material goods or necessities, or inadequate in the sort of friendly and loving atmosphere that every child needs to grow and develop, then that country without harmony cannot grow in any direction. We, and by we, I not only mean to say we in India, but whole world have neglected women's education. Now we have got education, and there is debate all around whether this education is adequate for society or for the needs of young people. I have been always one of those who think that education needs a thorough overhauling. But at the same time, I think that the present education is not bad because it has produced many fine men and women, especially scientists and experts in different fields who are in great demand all over the world and even by the most affluent countries. Many of our young people leave us and go to settle in abroad because they get higher salaries and better working conditions. But this is not at all one-sided business because there are many who are persuaded and cajoled to go even when they are elected. Our own ancient philosophy says nothing is entirely good or entirely bad in our life. Everything is somewhat mixture of both these things. It depends upon us and our capability how we extract the good and make use of things around us. There are people who learn by just observing things around them. Now, I think that all of you who have got this advantage of education will not only do things keeping national interest in view, but also make your own contribution to create peace and harmony and bring beauty in the lives of people and its country. I think it is especially the responsibility of women of India, and every woman must be educated. So we must remember that we should do better than those who were before us. Thank you, and I would like to all of you to take a prestigious step towards this issue.